Our ski adventure began near the end of April, and though we'd had a great snow year, it was on rapid disappear. We hardcore teleskiers boarders hadn't had enough, so we met at Tom Hartman's house in Vermont for the start of our journey to the Choc Mountains in the Gaspe Peninsula. We were looking at a 10 to 12 hour drive as we loaded our gear, including our musical instruments. Life without music? Forget it. Our roads would take us to the Vermont-Canadian border, to Sherbrooke, Drummondsville, along the St. Lawrence Seaway to Saint-Anne-de-Mont on the edge of the Chocs. The trip was a scenic one with churches, farms, windmills, and brightly colored, multi-sided houses the dominant features. After 10 hours in our rigs, our first glimpse of the mountains took our breath away. We were stoked for these beauties. The Chocs usually accumulate about a 20-foot snowpack annually. Jeb found this to be true even in late April. Hey, but that's what we came for. Our base camp was adjacent to Mount Albert, which rises up to nearly 4,000 feet, with tree line at about 1,800. Jacques Cartier is the highest in the range at over 4,100 feet. Our accommodations were simply lovely, with electricity and facilities, including showers. Our cuisine duties were arranged so each night 2 people were responsible for the meal. Everyone had a knack for being deliciously creative. From bouillabaisse to chili a la venison, our palates were pleased. Our first day out, we decided to head up Mount Albert and make the Serpentine Cabin our base camp. I decided to follow John Bascom up one of Mount Albert's rock-studded snowfields and film his descent from the top. Later, I joined the rest of the group and caught them making some turns. Here's Jill, the lone snowboarder in our group. Here's Nathan making some nice hop turns. Here's a young man we met from Maine, making some nice turns on his alpine skis. The temps were on the rise, and the corn snow was close to perfect, but we knew it would soon be rotten. It had been an average snow year in the Chocs, and we were catching the tail end. The cornices hung from the sky like ominous overlords, and they kept dropping reminders of their immense power and fury. Once again, we trekked to the Serpentine Cabin, took a break, and decided to head up the valley to La Grande Couve. But first I talked to a young Canadian we met along the way.
What's that?
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Hey, here we are, Davey again, up at the kind of the foot of Mont Albert. This is the second day. We just got above the spruces, ready to go into the open country, ski maybe some of these back bowls, and I'm sitting with Stefan.
Yeah.
And are you from Montreal?
I'm from Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah. So this is your first time here?
No, my second.
Second time? You see, you guys yesterday you were skiing at the Vol des Patrouilleurs.
Right.
And today you're going to be going to the Grande Cuve, which is the one in back over there. Today it's a short day, forgot the shorts. It's a beautiful weather for spring skiing. So anybody who's missing this is very unlucky right now. But if you see over, if you look over down there, the Grande Cuve.
Grande Cuve?
Yeah, there's a lot of nice lines, which we'll probably be going, but we'll have to watch out, see what kind of conditions with the snow, because the sun has been hitting a lot on that bowl, so have to watch for those snow slides.
Ah. So you teach? You
Yeah.
teach climbing and
Yeah.
ropes and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of avalanche awareness courses and mountain maneuvering courses.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect spot to teach, really.
I noticed there was, it has a capacity for some serious avalanches here. I saw one the first time I was here.
Yeah,
Plus you can see the piles over here. I
Yeah.
filmed it earlier.
yeah. There was, I don't know if you guys saw on TV in February, there was a big avalanche. Somebody was caught in this one,
Oh,
and it was filmed.
this year?
Yeah, and
Wow.
a very lucky person. He's only has just a few ribs broken, but it was a class 3 avalanche.
Wow.
So it was a very, very big avalanche, and
Serious?
he whipped off one of those rock ledges, and yeah, he was very lucky.
How far in?
Probably around the second line there. He was up on top on his second turn. It split across,
Yeah.
and then underneath another cut. So he came all the way down.
So we're in the park, the Gaspe Park?
Yeah, the Parc de Gaspésie, the Choc.
Oh.
And this is the north on the Bal, because the park is divided between the Réserve, which all the mountains which are over there, the les Mines Madeleine, and there's a whole series of Mount Richardson over there
Yeah.
that we can see. Those are all outside of the park, but those are all beautiful places to go and ski though.
Yeah,
a
they
lot
look
of nice
great.
bowls, yeah.
Look great.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say? We'll
Let's try
let's try one of these bowls.
yeah,
up here.
right. We'll get dressed a bit and put the boots back on.
Thanks a lot, Stefan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good talking with you.
Yeah, thanks.
The temperatures were soaring into the 80s. Tom decides to take a quick dip on the way. Martin follows Tom's lead as we all get set to start out again. As the guys prep for the ascent, they discuss the route up this formidable wall of rock and snow called La Grande Cuve. Through her binoculars, Sam spots some other telemarkers a mile up the canyon. While waiting to film our crew, I decide to zoom in on these folks. As you can see, they made some fabulous turns. Unfortunately, we never got to meet them. I finally locate the guys at the top of the Cuve. Stefan is the first to descend this heart-pumping drop of 55 to 60 degrees. We hold our collective breath as he suddenly falls. But Stefan is experienced and gives a textbook perfect demonstration on how to recover on the steeps. Here comes John working his way down. He pauses momentarily to look things over. Then off he goes with some dazzling turns down the face. It's time to get back to the cabin for refreshments and music.
I'm living .com heaven. I got MP3s and DVDs. I got immortality. Got a Bichon Frise asleep living on the screen where all is seen. Don't you know what I mean? Everybody, dot frickin' com. Yeah, kiss my ass, dot frickin' com. I said dot frickin' com.
The third morning, Jeb convinced Larry and I to take an alternative route to the top of Mount Albert. We began the journey in the parking lot of the Gîte du Mont Albert, a luxurious hotel with superb accommodations. If we'd known what lay ahead of us, we probably would have retired for the day right there. Little did we know that we were about to embark on a knockdown, drag-out 5-hour trip. I was to film the guys back at La Grande Couve again, and we figured this route would allow us plenty of time. We traversed through a lot of spruce with little or no sign of a trail. The one sign we did see said something about Ferme. After the aforementioned 5-hour agony trip, I reached the top and began to film. We got ourselves a bit rejuvenated at the Rabot-Gris cabin. A long plank walkway ran across the top of Mount Albert to protect this very delicate environment. I left the cabin and proceeded down Mount Albert to get a vantage point, and I made contact with John and Tom on the other side of Mount Albert. The plan for me to get down in the valley and film John and Tom coming off La Grande Couve again. Here comes John off the top, making things look very easy with those tree trunk legs of his. Never on camera do things appear as steep as they really are. This is heavy-duty whackery. John finishes with a backward telly-turn he picked up from Jeb. Tom slides across the top of the couve and finds a death-defying line between ledge and shadow. He pauses for a moment in triumph, and thanks God he's still in one piece. Tom and John's runs were a spectacular close for our adventure in the Chic. It was hard to say goodbye to these beautiful mountains and our new friends. But the snow was emptying into the swollen rivers, and it was back to work we go. Our minds were rivers of wonderful memories, of a hallowed place where God has done some of his finest work. It is a place where we will return, with reverence in our every turn, and a desire to protect its wildness forever, as do the wonderful Canadian people every day.